Ever since our last canoe trip into the Waverley Salmon River Long Lake Wilderness area, I found myself dreaming of my next adventure in this amazing place. I decided that one route I really had to do was the entire crossing of this beautiful 22,000 acre area from the very southern end and up across to the northern tip. So I scoured daily over the canoe and kayak map routes and planned out every detail for this 3-day solo journey. Alright, well, we're off here Friday morning, 3-day, Tuesday, we're off, I'm off, next 3 days, 17 lakes, 17 portages, including the one I just did to get down to this first lake at Otter Lake. So, anyway, we'll see you all in 3 days, Sunday night.
Or maybe not, depends if I come get you. Are you leaving me?
Just for a few days.
You got all your stuff?
Yep. Oh, that paddle's cracked.
Well, that's not good.
No.
You're gonna make it home alive?
I hope I don't do it all in one paddle. Now, stay back, stay back.
Whiskey! 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 Come back here! Come here! Whiskey! Come here. I know. No, come on. Not this time.
Salmon River Long Lake. Okay, so we just crossed over into Loon Lake. So, right up here, just did that portage there. Up in here, a couple more portages and a paddle, and we're gonna camp somewhere around there for the night. So, start making our way there. On to the next portage. Okay, just finished getting camp all set up for first night. Byron Lake. Made it to my spot that I had planned. I'm on the little island on Byron Lake. So, about a third of the way through the 3-day voyage. So, got some rain's coming tonight and tomorrow. So that's why I tarped everything up really well. So, should stay dry tonight anyway. Got my hammock all strung up. Waiting for after 8 o'clock or maybe 7 o'clock to have a fire, but I'll wait till just before dark anyway. Let things dampen down a little bit before we get a fire going, and then we'll get some supper on and get some water boiled up. Morning everyone, it's day 2, just woke up here this morning. Mosquitoes are out nice and heavy today, so anyway I'll show you. We're a little bit foggy and damp this morning. We had some rain overnight. But it's still mild. A little fire on, getting everything dried out. Laid out here. We got all my gear all laid out, so looks like a mess here right now. I just unpacked everything so I can get it all laid out. I got the barrel full of water I'll use to put the fire out here when I'm done and boil up my my day's water supply, what I'm going to need. I did my counted everything up, added everything up last night while I was sitting around the fire, and I realized I went through about 4.5 liters of water yesterday, so I think I sweated every bit of that out doing those portages. So anyway, gonna get the camp packed up here and get on the road. I guess the next portage, according to the my buddy I was talking to yesterday, said that it's not marked at all, so it's a lot of bushwhacking, so it's going to be a brutal one for a little over a kilometer. So anyway, we'll get there anyhow. Alright, I made it through on my own personal time. I wanted to get here by noon, and I'm 10 minutes early, so 10 to 12. We are at Dudley Lake. Oh, that was a brutal portage. You can tell by looking at all the brush and leaves I picked up on the kayak on the way through that. Oh, I really tested my orienteering skills because I had to go by GPS and map for a lot of it. The trail was just overgrown. You couldn't tell where the trail was, and so I did a lot of zigzagging back and forth to pick up the trail here and there, and just busting brush all the way through. So even the trail itself, some of the parts are pretty good. Pretty easy to follow. Other parts are completely wind blown and grown up. So anyway, if anyone goes to attempt this trip, then keep that in mind when you go to do the portage between between these two lakes, between Dudley and what was the lake I was on last night? Byron and Dudley. So anyway, across a little short lake here, across Dudley, and then we get another portage on the other side. Okay, so I made it across Dudley Lake, no problem. Found the portage spot with no problem either. It's quite noticeable, and bang on again where the Canoe Kayak Nova Scotia shows it on the maps. So looking at the map, here's where I camped last night on Byron Lake. Made that brutal portage down to Dudley, across Dudley, and I'm right here now. And it actually shows this 4-wheeler trail on the map. And although I saw it, I didn't know whether it was just an old overgrown road or if it was actually a trail. And it is a 4-wheeler trail, so it's good to know. As remote as this is, it's good to know there is an evacuation way out of here. So I'm assuming that comes out in behind North Preston somewhere. So anyway, it should be an easy portage, this one, to follow up this 4-wheeler trail right up to the next little unnamed lake, and then the 4-wheeler trail goes right beside the lake. So it's up to that one, and then this would be if I was going to come out to Lake Major, but I'm not. I'm going up through, so I'm going to make my way up to Ernst Lake next. Off we go. Came across this old car way back in here off Dudley Lake. Apparently that 4-wheeler trail must have been a little more than just a 4-wheeler trail at one time, so it's been long since forgotten about in here. So even though the 4-wheeler trail runs right up along beside this little lake, I could have just kept on portaging right up it and followed that 4-wheeler trail right up to the other end here, but I figured why drag the kayak when I can paddle it. So even though it's a short paddle, I'm going to do this little lake with no name on it. Came here to paddle, not to walk 4-wheeler trails. Apparently this was a popular spot for bringing cars back at one time. Punch Buggy Blue. So along the trail, and this old foundation looks like an odd shape. I'm not sure what it would have been used for. Pretty neat. A lot of concrete in it. Might have had something to do with logging back in the day. I'm not sure. Hopefully somebody knows. So I decided to stop here at the end of this lake that we're at now. Got the twig stove going. It's a handy little unit for heating up a pot of water quick. So going through a lot of water today with all these portages. So, a little bite to eat, boil up some water, a spot of tea, let some cool off for some drinking water this afternoon. And I think I'm going to fish this little hole right here because I've been sitting here the last 15-20 minutes. There's trout jumping like crazy, so I've hauled this fishing gear all along with me the whole way, and I haven't stopped yet to fish, so I guess now would be good time as any. So I just came to the end of Ernst Lake, and I see we finally got some nice newer signs on this one, so this is not too bad of a portage going over to 3 Mile Lake. And I think that from here on out I'm going to be in pretty well used and marked trails for portage and things. So we'll get over to 3 Mile Lake and see how far we can get up the other end of that today. And we're on to the big 3 Mile Lake. And a long road up till here, but when we arrived at this, I want to paddle up and make it to the other end. There's the old warden's cabin I want to see up there. Everyone tells me to make sure to stop in, so I might make camp there for the night. We'll see. So, Saturday evening, rain's coming in, so it might be good timing. I just pulled up in here, so I gotta get offloaded. So we'll be camping in style tonight. This is a great little spot, and I'm sure there's quite a few people that know about it because it looks like it's got a lot of work into it. It is on the canoe kayak routes. I know people snowshoe into here. The old warden's cabin at the end of 3 Mile Lake. Like I say, somebody's, a bunch of people anyway, maybe have put in a lot of work keeping this place up. The inside, hopefully it's not too dark. Let's see. 4 big double bunks. A nice wood stove. Pile of wood. That's leftovers there. Somebody even left a jar of cigarettes where he might start up for smoke, I guess. And table and chairs, and even an old guitar. I wish I could play. Anyway, beautiful view. Good morning. It's the third morning, Sunday morning. Just getting some hot water boiled up for some tea and some oatmeal before I hit the trail. And this is what the weather has in store for me today. I guess it's right on what they forecast. So anyway, maybe a little wet today, but it is what it is. I just have to watch my footing on the way out. Some of those rocks get pretty slippery. So. But probably about 3.5–4 hours journey maybe to get out of here. Plus if this lets up a little bit, I'm hoping to stop and do a little fishing. So anyway, get something to bite to eat and get on the trail. Alright, Sunday morning. Here we go. Back up 3 Mile Lake. First portage. Definitely overcast, foggy, rain in the air. But we're homeward bound. Alright, just finished that first portage up out of 3 Mile Lake. The gear all ready to go back in the kayak. And I made it to Red Trout Lake. I can't remember the name of it now, but something along those lines. So anyway, portage is at the very far end of this one, so I've almost done a loop up from the cabin. It's actually straight down and through here, so it actually loops up and around and up quite a steep incline up, and then not so steep coming down, not too bad. But the pull up out of there certainly gets the heart pumping. So it's good. I think that was the last big hard portage I had. The rest of them are all fairly flat, I think, from here on out. So anyway, I managed to get cell reception up the top, so I got a hold of Sally, and she's gonna pick me up for 3 o'clock today. So I got a deadline to try and get to, so we'll see how we make for time. Show you a little trick I like to do when I'm portaging. When I'm doing these solo trips. It's just something small to do, but it does help a lot from having to stop all the time. Is in my free hand, when I'm holding the camera right now, I'd be dragging the kayak, but in my other hand, instead of packing my paddle away, like I had been doing. I'll keep it together, or I still have that free hand, helps me for stability too. But the big thing is when I'm going on these trails, I hold it about yay high, and it breaks any cobwebs ahead of me, because you wouldn't believe the amount of times you got to stop and wipe cobwebs out of your face. So it does help. If you're traveling in pairs, then let the other person go first and they can break all the cobwebs. Alright, finish that portage. Go down the map here. That was that one we just did from that North Red Trout Lake. Through that boggy section up to Creeper Big Lake. Sorry, deer flying in my face. So we'll paddle this, and I've got 2 portages left and 2 lakes to paddle. So just Creeper, then King, and then to my pickup spot. Trip is winding down. Okay, got through that portage, boggy old thing. Deer flies are terrible today. They eat me alive. Every time I try to stop, catch my breath, they're just on me. So keep trying to get out in these open areas on the lakes to get a little break from them, a little breeze. Anyway, we got King Lake left to paddle. It's a big one, so wind will be at my back, so hopefully that'll keep these deer flies down a bit. I'm going to dig some food out here and have a bite to eat on the way. I'm not to be able to do and enjoy it here, I'm sure, for sure. And then I got a 600 meter portage, and Sally's going to pick me up on the other end. So we'll see how we make out for this last little leg. Alright, show you here the end of the Aerotech Road. Here now, hopefully you can hear me. I'd like to thank Nova Scotia, Canoe Kayak Nova Scotia for the maps and stuff. Without that, they were just a key part of it to be able to see those portages. And out on this end, they're all marked out really well. Whoever's marking those trails did a really good job. I done it without my GPS as well. Between that and the old trails that were overgrown, then wouldn't have found my way through there. But anyway, 17 lakes, 17 portages. I'm ready for a shower and a cold beer. Thanks for joining along. Oh, and thanks again to Tacticam as well. Tacticam supplied all my fisheye cameras that I filmed this entire trip on as well. So